Should you keep the employer coverage or should you go on Medicare with a Medicare plan? This is a comparison I have to do for people every week, right? Common question, so I'm going to give you the basics you need to know to be able to compare for yourself. You may be surprised at what you find here. So, if you're looking at employer coverage, let's look at how it works real quick, right? Basically, most folks are paying about 250 to 300 a month out of their paycheck for their coverage. Now, it can be less than that, but typically, if your payment is lower, then your deductible, what you have to deduct from your wallet before the coverage helps you with anything medical, major medical wise, is higher, right? So if you're paying less than 250 or 300, then you're going to have an even higher deductible than what we are showing here. For most people that are paying 250, 300, the deductible is still around $2,000 to $5,000. That's where it is. Because of the cost of insurance going up more and more, employers are having to offset that by choosing plans with bigger deductibles to keep the monthly payment the same, right? So let's think about that for a second. Yeah, if you're going to the doctor, you're paying $250 a month, $300 a month, you're going to the doctor and nothing major happens, no big deal. You're not getting into the deductible, right? But if you have one thing come up, and mostly it happens via like an outpatient procedure, right? Some outpatient thing that comes up, you're going to eat that deductible. So in your case, as an employer coverage, $2,000 to $5,000. But here's the problem: you're not done yet. That's just before it kicks in. Then you still have to pay what's called a co-insurance. And we'll write that in here. Then co-insurance after that, right? So then you're getting to what's called the max out of pocket. The max out of pocket is usually more like $6,000 or $8,000. So you have an outpatient procedure, you're going to basically pay the full cost of the procedure. So for the privilege, so for 250 to $300 a month, you have the privilege of then shelling out another 5, 6, 8 grand if something major comes up. All right. Now, compare that to Medicare with a supplement plan. Medicare itself costs $202.90 a month. In Georgia, a supplement plan right now is about $110 a month. In Florida, it's about $150. Drug plans start at $0 a month, guys. Most people that I deal with are on a $0 a month drug plan. You pay whatever copays you have at the pharmacy if you have any copays at all. But the plan itself has no monthly payment. So what's the total here? So $310 a month, $350 if you're in Florida. So for about the same as you're paying for your group coverage through your employer out of your paycheck, you're getting a Medicare with a supplement plan. What's the difference? You're getting upgraded in a few different ways. Number one, Medicare with a supplement plan is the only health insurance in America that does not have a network. Your employer coverage is network based. So that's upgrade number one. You're going to no network. Upgrade number two, if you go into the hospital with that employer coverage, you're eating all that deductible and then the co-insurance up to the max out of pocket of $5, $6, $8,000, depending on what yours is. If you go into the hospital with Medicare to supplement plan, you don't pay a dime. You're covered at 100%. And it doesn't matter what the hospital is because there's no network. If you go outside the hospital, you don't have a large deductible to meet in your outpatient surgery scenario or outpatient procedure scenario. Outpatient procedure and everything, doctors all included, is $283 out of pocket total for the year on Medicare with a supplement plan. So what does that mean? How does that work? You pay the first $283 out of your pocket. That's it. When you go to the doctors, it's usually where it's happening. You're going to pay the first $283 total out of your pocket. Once you've hit that, you're done for the year. Any additional doctor office visit, $20. Doesn't matter the type of doctor. Outpatient surgery, treated like a doctor office visit, $20. MRI, treated like a doctor office visit, $20. and it doesn't matter where. And no prior authorization requirements are built in like they are on these employer groups and so forth. So the real question is, do you want to keep paying a little less a month and keep the employer coverage and pay thousands when something actually happens? Okay, that's your choice. If that sounds like a better deal for you, then okay, I respect it. But for many people, when they see this comparison, they realize the supplement plan isn't just comparable, it's actually better coverage for about the same money, right? But here's the deal. You can only get the supplement plan when you're turning 65 without health questions, right? There's two different types of supplement. Yes, there is a more expensive version that's not really worth the money for most people that you can get when you're coming off health employer coverage later without health questions. But the cheaper, better deal option is only available when you're turning 65 without health questions. One of the options is no longer available without health questions if you elect to keep the employer coverage. So that's another factor for consideration. Separate matter. Joe Namath on the TV is talking about a different type of Advantage plan option. So there's a different Medicare plan route called Advantage plan. Those are even cheaper. 0 to 50 a month, includes some free dental, vision, and hearing, and a gym membership and so forth, but it's not as comprehensive medically. So fewer of my people who come off of employer coverage go that way. It's usually, if you're going to come off employer coverage, you're going supplement plan way. But if that Advantage plan route is attractive to you, I'm happy to look at those options with you as well. Last point here. If you make over $116,000 as an individual or 218 a year as a couple, then you pay more for Medicare monthly payment itself. How much more depends on how much you make. You can Google IRMA for Medicare and you can see the table for yourself. Otherwise, you can just ask me. So, this is the bottom line. Most people, when comparing employer plan to Medicare, feel like the Medicare with a supplement is the better deal. If you feel like that is also the case for you, I'm happy to put in your application while you can do it without health questions and get that set up for you. It's a very easy transition. Once you do that, we then let your employer know you no longer want their coverage. They have to let you off at any time of year. They can't hold you hostage if you want to leave group coverage and go to Medicare. They have to let you go. So we put the supplement plan application in place. Upon seeing its approval, which is going to come because they can't ask any health questions, we then notify the employer that you want to disenroll from that coverage as of your birth month, and then that's it. It's very simple from there. They no longer take that money out of your check. Instead, you take that money and put it towards your Medicare payment and your supplement payment instead. So easy enough. If you have any questions, reach out to me. We can pick it up from there. Otherwise, I hope you found this helpful. I'd be happy to put the coverage in place if you feel like that's the best route for you. All right. Bye-bye.